The ocean is this important connection point between humans and nature. Anyone that watches a TV show about whales or dolphins or sharks, or even goes to an aquarium and sees animals swimming in the water, can really value the beauty and the awe of these ecosystems.
I'm from Switzerland, so my first interaction with the ocean was actually quite late. But from an early age, I just started watching shark documentaries, and it became clear to me that there is so much more to be found out, something where we only started scratching the surface of what we know. We're in Jupiter, Florida, on a trip with Saving the Blue and Fahlo. The project really aims at improving the conservation of two of the hammerhead species. The goal is to tag the Scalloped hammerhead and the great hammerhead, to have a data set that allows us to help policymakers in coming up with management strategies that allow for an efficient conservation of those two species.
One of the most important aspects to ensuring that management is effective is to understand where these animals are located.
What we're using at the moment are fin-mounted satellite transmitters. Every time a shark fin cuts through the surface, will automatically transmit the location to a satellite.
The reason we're here in Jupiter is because it's this meeting point between the east coast of the United States and areas like the Caribbean and the Florida Keys, as well as the Bahamas. And so it's this nice area where there are a lot of sharks, and so it gives us the opportunity to understand, are the sharks that are meeting here going south, east, north, or potentially west? Beyond understanding their movement behavior is to get a better understanding of how they might encounter fishing gear that creates a threat to their survival.
It's a project that has direct implications for an improved conservation of those two species. So it means to be part of being something bigger.
Anytime that you're studying something in nature, you're going to run into many unpredictable situations.
You ready? Yeah. Okay, so gotta push.
You're oftentimes going to have perfect days where the weather is nice, the animals are biting. But then there's also going to be days where things don't go as you planned.
When it comes to weather, we always need to be making sure that we're paying attention to it, because when you're out on the water, things can change really fast in the blink of an eye.
We've had several days where we've had to quickly gather our gear and run into shore, so that way we're ensuring that we're safe, we're not losing equipment, we're not hurting animals, and also so that way we can go out the next day. Most people look at sharks as these apex predators you see on TV. In thinking about ecosystems, it's all interconnected like a spider web. There's certain links to that web where if it becomes damaged, the whole web needs to be recreated. For predators, they play this vital role that enable food webs to maintain their stability. The studies that we're doing are ensuring that we understand how we can maintain that healthy ecosystem.
At the moment, we're using a single hook setup that is free drifting in the water with a long line on it, which allows us to see when a shark first bites the hook, so we know exactly how long a shark has been on our buoy. We'll reel the line in by hand, and the shark will basically come up on our right side of the boat. And then as soon as the shark is next to the boat, we basically have a 3-point of contact system. So we have a person that is stabilizing the head of the shark, making sure that the head is not hitting the boat. We then have a person that reaches over the gunnel that grabs the dorsal fin. And then we have a third person that puts a rope around the tail of the sharks. And that's basically then when we can get our measurements.
Male, count to 5.
We take a genetic sample, which is important to understand stock compositions, but also kin relationships in the sharks. We'll get a small muscle sample that tells us which position in the food web our shark is occupying. And then we put in an external marker tag, which helps us to keep track of our shark should our shark be caught by another scientist. And then we put in a small passive integrated transponder, which is basically a microchip like for your pet. So if we ever re-catch that shark, we quickly scan it and we know exactly when we caught that shark. And then the last step is also to put in those fin-mounted satellite tags. During that entire time, we have a timer running. Because we want to make sure that we have a cutoff where we say that is taking too long, so we release the animal, making sure that we don't cause any unnecessary harm. With our project, something that is also quite important to consider is it is part of something bigger. The data set like this is something that helps us to really make changes for the species. We're quite excited when we're able to contribute our data to this big push to make conservation and management as well informed and as efficient as we can.
Fahlo has been incredibly supportive of our research efforts towards improving conservation management of sharks. And with the sharks that we tag, folks that purchase their bracelets have an opportunity to track the animals that we are studying so that they can improve their understanding of the ocean and become better stewards to hopefully broaden the scope of marine conservationists across the planet.